I am there we go. I was completely and totally off screen for the first few seconds there because I am still getting used to StreamYard. So it's a pretty cool software. And I mean, I'm just using the free version right now, which is why you see that watermark up in the corner right there. If I want to get rid of it, I got to fork over some dough. But you get a lot of benefits with that. You get the ability to have more people like kind of on your stream with you. You get, let's see, you get the ability to record the streams like directly to your computer, so it just kind of does it. So it's pretty nice. I'm thinking I may use StreamYard at least for my podcast and possibly my non-gaming live streams because I I mean, I'm trying to put out about one podcast a week. Probably comes out to every other week if I really kind of take it and average it out. Because I think next year the plan for the podcast is to do probably about 35 um 35 episodes. So of 25 by the end of the year, and then I'll hopefully be up to 60 by the end of next year. And so that will hopefully mean that I can do at least that many episodes. So it's about 2 episodes every 3 weeks, something like that. So, pretty cool. Anyways, let me say hello to everyone who is here. I see Alan Copeland. Good to see you, my friend. Sith Apple, both of my mods extraordinaire. I hope you guys are doing well. And thank you for being here tonight. So the big subject for this stream is I'm going to do a reaction to and review of The Marvels, which I did get to go see last night with my friends. Now, before anyone leaves, I'm going to tell you right now, we're not going to start with a spoiler review. All right, I'm going to keep it spoiler free. In fact, let me go over to my banner right now. I'm just going to go ahead and put that up right now. Well, actually, no, that will be there when I get to the review, but we're not to the review yet. So, anyways, but before I launch into that, I just want to go ahead and hit you guys with a couple of announcements. First of all, and you can find all this information in my description. I am still trying to fundraise for Extra Life. I've got $10 towards my $100 goal. So thank you to those of you who donated. And I was playing around with the Extra Life page, and I figured out milestones and incentives. And I would like to show you guys. Give me just a second here. We're going to go ahead, and I just want to show you a couple of things that I have done. So again, still learning to use StreamYard, but I think I've got it to where we can do I can do a share screen, and I'm going to default it to there. Nah, you know what? Let's go ahead and default it to there. That's a little bit better for now. So anyways, this is what I want to show you guys. So this is my Extra Life page, and you can find the link in the description if you want to donate. So I have figured out a couple of ways to maybe kind of up the engagement on my Extra Life streams. Couple of things, all right? So first thing I've done is I've added milestones, okay? And so I've got 5 milestones that are each 1/5 of the way towards my $100 goal, all right? So the first milestone, which we are halfway to, is sensational. This is an adjective that has been used to describe Spider-Man in the comics. That's what all of these are, all right? So at $20, we will hit sensational. We have done a sensational job of fundraising, all right? At 40, we hit spectacular. We've all heard of the spectacular Spider-Man, right? We'll have done a spectacular job of fundraising. So we can hit 40. That would be awesome. Then at $60, we hit amazing, the amazing Spider-Man. So we've done an amazing job of doing fundraising at $60. At $80, look at this. We have the superior rank milestone, whatever you want to call it. So at $80, we'll have done a superior job of fundraising. And then finally, at $100, when we can be done, we have reached the ultimate. We've reached the ultimate goal. So that is the intent right there. So hopefully, and I just want to see, hold on. Unless I've got the browser directly on the YouTube chat, it's not always caught up. So that is one thing going on. Now, another thing that I would like to do, and I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen there, is, oh wait, I was still on that screen, and I wanted that. So my bad. I'm still screwing up like you do. So let me go ahead and get that back. All right. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and just scroll down a little bit. And I want to show you guys, I've also started playing with incentives. Now, this is something I used to do when I was on Twitch. All right. And so what I've got is if someone donates $10, all right, someone donates $10, you basically get a THWIP train from me. This is something you could redeem on my Twitch channel for channel points. It was the opportunity to just make me throw out like a dozen THWIPs all in a row. You donate $10 towards my Extra Life page, and I will do a THWIP train. I'll put out 10 consecutive THWIPs just all in a row. You know, so that's one way, that's one incentive that I packed in. Another one, and this one only kind of applies if I'm playing Spider-Man. This is the $20 one. And can we just give it a little bit more? It's still not very readable on the screen. Here, let me just see if that'll work. That's a little bit better. Anyways, when I'm playing a Spider-Man game, you get to choose, for $20, you get to choose a Spider-Man suit, and then I will basically dress like I'll basically put that suit on, and I will play the game for an hour in that suit. Now, if I'm playing like Spider-Man 2 and for some reason I have to change from like Miles to Peter or Peter to Miles during that hour, then of course the donor would get to select the suit. So anyways, I just wanted to point that out. I do think that I do think that these are some cool goals. If you guys have any other like incentive suggestions, let me know because I'd be willing to try them out. It's just a thing that I think is pretty cool. And again, come support me on Extra Life, please. I'm just trying to raise $100. Even a $1 donation gets me 1% closer to my goal. So anything at all helps. And of course, if you make a donation during the stream, I will I will I will thank you on stream. So in any case, that is not the only thing that I wanted to talk up, though. I also wanted to let you guys know that even though I haven't really talked about it in a long time, I still have Troubles GoFundMe up, and I'm actually logging in right now because I just want to show you guys. I had like you guys all know that I went to Comic-Con last month. Well, I also met some people there who, without me asking them to do it, like I mentioned that my cat had a fundraiser, and they basically they asked me for the address of the fundraiser, and then essentially donated to that fundraiser just without me asking. It was like, wow, thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull that up real quick because I want to show you that Troubles fundraiser is still up. Troubles fundraiser will remain up until I have paid off her medical debt, which I think we've got down to about $12,000. Remember when it was like 18? So we've made some huge progress. But let me go ahead and just bring up the screen real quick. Where is it? All right, so there it is. So there's Trouble's fundraiser, Saving Trouble. It's raised about $3,400, and that is so flipping amazing. I can't even begin to tell you guys how awesome that is. So, so many very generous people have decided to like chip in and everything. I know that it says 18,000 for the goal, but remember that that was the original amount of the debt. The payments total so far, I've paid just about half. Like the 3,400, I've probably paid about $3,000 as well. So, um, but again, I keep getting donations from very generous people, and sometimes they just come out of nowhere. Like I'll go weeks without a donation, and then someone will kick in $20, and it's like, thank you. Every little bit helps, with all this stuff. Every little bit helps. And so I just want to let you guys know that me uh, basically me paying off Trouble's medical debt remains a huge like thing that I want to make sure that I get done. I'm hoping in the next year or so. We'll see. I don't know at this point. So, but in any case, for those of you that do not already know, here's an incentive for you to help me pay off Trouble's debt. Now, first of all, I've got like anyone who donates to like my stream elements or anything like that, just know that that money is going towards Trouble's medical debt as well. Um, but keep in mind that like I put up incentives like, for instance, the choosing what suit I wear in a Spider-Man game and stuff like that. So like just let me know if like there's a game I'm playing and there's an incentive that would make you go, oh, I'll tip you in order to like to do that. Like, yeah, let me know. And if you donate to Trouble's GoFundMe during the stream, let me know that as well. So that way I can go check, verify, and then thank you for it. And if possible, like, get you an incentive to claim, whether that's me, wearing the Bodega Cat Spider-Man skin in, Miles Morales or Spider-Man 2, or if it's, I don't know, choosing what activity I do for the day in Stardew Valley or something like that. So, but just let me know these things, and I can get them listed. So, but but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, and that is kind of the major house cleaning for now. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go and talk about the Marvels. Now, I wanted to have up like a background where I had like the three Marvels behind me and everything, kind of like on my thumbnail, but I wasn't able to put anything together in time that looked good. Like I'm always kind of in the middle. I would be cutting off Carol Danvers. I didn't feel right about that because it's her movie. So I just didn't, but it's okay. We'll figure something out in the future. And it's just, well, I'm not that worried about it, but yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Marvels. Okay. Now, the first part of this review and reaction is going to be spoiler free. And as I get more familiar with StreamYard, I will start looking for things like, photos and still frames and maybe like, I don't know, GIFs from the movie or something. A lot of things that I could learn to do with StreamYard. And since I'm so new to it, I'm still figuring everything out. I just figured out banners like today, basically. And I like those. Like I like having this little blue banner at the bottom of the screen that's basically saying, "Hey, there are no spoilers right now. I'm not going to do that." But and I'll get around to more. I'll get around to learning more tricks as I get better with StreamYard. And I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm considering a paid account. This is a pretty nice software, and Matt Cave swears by it. And I've got other friends on YouTube that use it and love it. The only thing that I'm weird with about it is that it's browser based, which I'm not used to. I'm used to like kind of a client based. But anyways, that's really not about the Marvels. So let's talk a little bit about the Marvels. So first of all, I'm gonna pull up some basic information about it. I'm not gonna put it on screen, so don't worry. But basically, Marvel stars Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, Teyona Paris as Monica Rambeau, and then Iman Vellani as Kamala Khan, aka Ms. Marvel. And it was released yesterday, or at least, I guess tonight is technically the day that it's released, but really, it was released yesterday. And one of the first things I want to mention about this movie is just how very few people were actually at this screening. Usually when I go to see a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, they're like, I mean, it might not always be packed, but it's pretty close. This time there was no problem finding a seat, like not a one. And that was a little bit weird and a little bit disconcerting. But I mean, really, um, the press for Marvel Studios as of late, for the most part, has been pretty bad. I know a lot of people don't care for the direction that a lot of the Disney Plus stuff has gone in. I've heard some frankly inane complaints about, oh, it's the MCU and there's too many women leading stuff. And frankly, if that's the way you think about the MCU, you don't need to be here. Okay. I have never had a problem, and maybe this comes from being raised by a single mother, but I've never had a problem with women-led stories and shows and books and stuff like that. Never had a problem with it. And so like I loved like She-Hulk. I loved Ms. Marvel. WandaVision, what I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone agrees that WandaVision is pretty excellent. And that's mostly led by Elizabeth Olsen. It's also led by Paul Bettany, but I mean, the show is mostly about Wanda, I would argue, and I think a lot of people would agree with me. Um, the Black Widow movie, it was all right. It was, it did what it needed to do, but I don't feel like it did much more. But there's been other missteps as well. Secret Invasion kind of flopped. I still haven't watched it, and I've been told by many people that I trust that I've made a good decision on that front. So, um, but let's see. I mean, so Secret Invasion, uh, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, unfortunately, was nowhere near as engaging for me as, for instance, Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp were. Thor: Love and Thunder, dear God, what a disappointing movie that was. Um, I was completely expecting it to be great. One, because it was directed by Taika Waititi, who did a great job with Thor Ragnarok. And then they were introducing Gore the God Butcher, which I've read that story, and I'm just like, I love Gore the God Butcher. And man, how can you cast Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher and still screw it up? I really want to know that, you know. But they did it. They did it. And it's fine. It's fine. It makes perfect sense to me that after Avengers Endgame, that the MCU has kind of struggled because that was the big story. That was the big multi-year arc that they were building towards and that they put a lot of narrative effort and thought into. And then the aftermath, well, we've been trying to get up to 2023 so that way we can catch up with blip time and then hopefully continue on. And in the meantime, they've tried to address some of the things that happened in Endgame, some of the fallout. They've been working on trying to set up the next wave of Avengers, and it hasn't gone so well. And I get it. It's just one of those things that sometimes happens. But with that said, I also think that, I don't need everything to be connected immediately. I don't need everything to be building towards the next big epic. In fact, I think right now, after Endgame, people are ready to kind of like, okay, let's just let this meander for a bit, and then hopefully when they get their feet back, they'll build to something else good. We'll find out. Now, the question is, pardon me, sorry. The question is, does the Marvels build to something like that? Well, this is the non-spoiler part of the review, so I'm not really going to answer that question. My review of the movie at this point is going to focus on things like the writing, the acting, and so on and so forth. I'm going to say this much. Very few people in the box office, and very few people in the theater, all right? That's fine. I enjoyed this movie. I had fun during this movie. And I think that a lot of people who go to see this movie are going to have fun. If you are willing to put away the need for I need I need all the interconnectedness, I need all the building, I need all the seriousness and the grim darkness, okay? If that's what you're looking for, you're not going to like this movie. All right. This is a movie that has very few F's to give and just throws them all out the window and just does its own thing. And it's actually pretty cool. And again, I don't want to say too much more on that front without going into spoilers, but let me just say that this is a movie that is, to me, there are a few movies in the MCU that when I think of those movies, the word fun really follows after them. And the first one is Iron Man. Iron Man is just a fun comic book movie. If it's the only MCU movie that you ever watch and you don't connect it to anything else, it is a good, fun, like the characters are having fun. The people who have put the movie together were clearly having fun. Robert Downey Jr. was having fun. And there's just this sense of enjoyment and a sense that this is just a celebration of comic books and comic book movies. And that's all to the good. Ant-Man is another one. I remember watching Ant-Man and thinking, wow, I haven't had this much fun since Iron Man. Like, that's what I specifically remember thinking. And how the Marvels fits into this, I haven't had this much fun in a Marvel movie since Ant-Man. And it's been nearly what? It's been like 8 years since Ant-Man. Now, I'm not saying there aren't any other fun Marvel movies. Obviously, the Marvel movies are all pretty fun. But like, I'm talking pure, unadulterated, I'm just having a good time and just enjoying this. The Marvels falls into that category. It falls into the category of, we're here, we're having fun, and we're just going to kind of keep on at it. What I like most about the Marvels is, I've made no secret about this. The main reason that I went to see the Marvels was Iman Vellani, and to her credit, oh man, girl steals the show. She is, I've said this so many times, so you guys are probably sick of hearing it, but I'm going to say it anyways. She is so damn charming. She is so good at being the new, young kid sister superhero who's meeting her idols, and she's so excited and she has everything to prove. And you get a lot of that, and she plays it very well. There are several reasons, though, to think that Kamala in the movie is probably the most emotionally intelligent out of the three main characters in this movie. And I don't want to say why, because I feel like that would lead into a spoiler, so I won't. but they did a lot with all of the characters. Now, how did the other two hold up? How did Teyonah Parris and Brie Larson do? They brought their A game. They brought their A game, and I had a good time. All three of them had, they all had arcs, and you get to experience the changes they go through during those arcs very well. It's pretty evenly distributed. And I mean, again, and I will totally cop to being biased, but I thought Kamala's was the best. But there is a lot of fun stuff happening around, for instance, Carol, that I won't go into here, and some interesting stuff going on with Monica as well. So I feel like the writers of the movie, as well as the director Nia DaCosta, really they had some things that they wanted to say, and they also wanted to have fun while they do it. And I feel like one of the best themes of this movie is the idea of found family, and the idea that found family can be just as if not more valuable than the family that you're born into. And I mean, I think perhaps we've all felt that way at one point. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've got a great family, and I love them very much, and we mostly see each other around the holidays, and that's fine. Um, but there are people in my life that I see every day that I've chosen to be with every day, and that really kind of get me on a level that I really want them to, without having to really try. And the Marvels does explore that with the three leads, and does it in a way that is, I mean, a couple of interesting ways. Again, won't go into it here, but it explores them and basically gets them more or less going from people who are coming at each other from vastly different places to, by the end, people who are not just on the same page in a kind of teamwork way, but on the same page in a way that these three women really get each other, and they really have learned to kind of intuit each other and figure that out. So it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun during this movie. I really feel like people are not doing themselves any favors if they're deciding this is the Marvel movie that they're gonna miss. I don't think so. I do not think so. I think that if you go, you're going to have fun, as long as you're able to get the misogyny BS like out of your head and done. Like, you know, if you're someone who think, if you want your superheroes to all be male and straight and white and this and that, then and you can't live with anything else, then of course you're not going to like the Marvels. And I suspect it's a lot of those people, if there is any review bombing going around, they're the ones that usually end up doing this stuff. If you put that aside and just enjoy a comic book movie being a comic book movie, with some seriousness, with some emotional parts to it, with some silliness, and just embrace the silly, then I think you're going to enjoy this movie, and I think you're going to enjoy it quite a bit. So it's really worth watching, and I really feel that it's one of those movies that is probably not going to do as well as it should at first. And I think what will happen is people will get word that this movie is worth seeing, and they'll go out and see it. It's what I hope. Um, I haven't really looked at the reviews, and I feel like I'm better off for not having done that, because I mean, I don't care what the critics are saying. I've watched it, and I've just been like, I enjoyed this. This was good. This was fun, and I really want to see more of it. So, like, I want to know what happens, and there's I mean, it's the MCU. We know how the MCU works. Okay, that's not a spoiler to say. If there's something left hanging, there's about a 95% chance that it's going to be followed up on. Um, so yeah, as far as MCU movies go, is it as good as say Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? No. Is it as good as Spider-Man No Way Home? No. No. Is it as good as Ant-Man Quantumania and Thor Love and Thunder? Oh, hell yeah. In my opinion, it beats both of those movies pants off. Um, I would say I would say that it's again, it's a fun movie. Haven't had this much fun at a Marvel movie since Ant-Man. And yeah, even if you get an ending where you are kind of, if there's something left dangling and you're kind of like, what's going to happen with that? I mean, just go with it. Again, Marvel movie, MCU movie. This is what they do. They're going to figure it out. We'll get to the end eventually. So, anyways, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about this movie. I think it's worth seeing. I think you should totally go see it. And I think that you should just go and experience it. If you're going to wait until it comes out on Disney Plus, you're going to be waiting a while. I think this movie is worth seeing now. I really like fun movies, and I feel like I needed a movie like this. So go see it. Totally worth it. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out for this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move over to the spoiler side of the tracks. So this is you guys' chance. If you do not want to be spoiled, this is your chance to get out of here. If you do leave, a couple of things before you go. Make sure you thwip the like button, and just let me know if you enjoyed this. Just say something in the chat. Just be like, hey, thanks for the words of wisdom. Don't know if I'll go see it, something like that. Just let me know. I just like to know that people are getting my words and have something to say in response to them. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hide that banner, and we're going to put in this banner, and I am going to change the color scheme. All right. We are now in spoiler territory. So I'll go ahead and give it about another minute or so. And in the meantime, because I don't want anyone to be spoiled if they don't want to see it. So, but I'm going to take a minute to go ahead and just replug. If you have the opportunity, please go to my Extra Life and donate. Every little bit helps. Every dollar that you give me gets me 1% closer to my donation goal. My goal is to raise $100 for Extra Life. That's it. That's all I'm going for. If you could help me get there, would so appreciate that. My Extra Life fundraising page is in the description of the of the live stream. So please go ahead and follow the link there if you can. And also, I would just like to point out that Trouble's GoFundMe is also live, and there's a link to that in the description as well. So if you would be so kind or so generous as to donate to either of those two causes, it would mean the world to me. All right. And with all that said, all right, I've given the people who want to get out of here plenty of time. We're going to go ahead and get into the spoilers for Marvel Studios' The Marvels. All right. Okay. So one of the big reasons that I wanted to make sure that I avoided spoilers for people for this movie is because there are actually a few pretty significant spoilers in this movie. So including there's like 3 things that we find out about Carol that we did not know beforehand in this movie, at least that I was not aware of. So I'll get into those in just a second, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about the 3 mains in this movie first. All right. So Brie Larson as Carol Danvers. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Brie Larson's version of Carol Danvers. And to everyone who doesn't like them, hey, you're entitled to your opinions. You are absolutely entitled to your opinions. However, where I do sometimes draw the line is the reasons for your opinions. If I feel that you have a terrible reason for a perfectly valid opinion, I will validate your opinion, but also tell you that your reasoning for it is kind of shit, basically. Like I will do that, you know. So with that said, um, you know, Carol's Captain Marvel has not always struck me as being particularly warm or approachable. And the thing is, she doesn't have to be. She is a woman who not only is extremely powerful, but she's also carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. And when I say that, this is where we're going to get into our first spoiler. So Carol has a nickname amongst the Kree. She's called the Annihilator, and she does not like that name. She does not like that name at all. And when the first big fight breaks out and one of the three locations that it's at is Kamala Khan's house, she ends up facing off against a Kree soldier, and the first thing he says to her is Annihilator. She's like, I don't like that name, and she, punches him out. And you come to find out that the reason the Kree call Carol the Annihilator is because she basically went and she didn't destroy their sun, but she basically like crippled it in a big way. And so the sunlight levels on Hala are almost nothing. The air is hard to breathe. There's no water. And so Hala is struggling by the time we see it in this movie. Hala, for those of you that don't know, is the Kree homeworld. Leia Rose, welcome. Good to see you. I hope all is well. Leia, just so you know, I'm talking spoilers for the Marvels. If you don't mind being spoiled, or if you have seen it already, please feel free to stick around. I do not want to spoil it for you. However, if you do not want to be spoiled, so just wanted to give you fair warning since it looks like you just got here. So, but thank you for coming. I appreciate it very much. Anyways, so that was something about Carol that I was like, whoa, she did that? Like I did not realize, like she went in, destroyed the Supreme Intelligence, which, I was expecting that to happen. But then she was like, that's not that I haven't gone far enough. And then so she tried to take out Hala's son, and it was like, damn. And she felt a lot of guilt for that. And apparently that was the reason she did not come back to Earth, which is one of the issues that Monica has with Carol. And that comes through during some scenes where they're reunited. And it's funny because Captain Marvel, all she remembers is the little girl, that she called Lieutenant Trouble. And then like when she calls Monica Lieutenant Trouble, Monica's just like, she's pretty cold about it. She's pretty standoff. She's like, oh, it's Captain Rambeau now, and you can see the kind of disappointment on Carol's face. It's like, oh man, she doesn't like me anymore, basically. And so, there is some time and some energy expended on that subplot where Carol finally explains, because you don't find this out until close to the end of the movie that Carol has done these things. And she essentially didn't feel like she knew that, like, after she had done it, she knew that what she had done was a bridge too far, and she felt very guilty about it. And so basically spent her time trying to help other planets out there, to try to do what she can to help the Kree, who now, of course, hate her. And she didn't feel worthy of coming home. And, Monica just told her, hey, that's not how it works. All I wanted was you. All I wanted was for you to come back. And so there's a lot of frostiness that they overcome to kind of get back on the same page. Now, they both have light-based powers, as does Kamala. And that's kind of the reason for the plot is that Dar-Ben, who I guess she finds the other bangle, Ms. Marvel possesses one of the bangles, and so Dar-Ben finds the other one on just another manic Monday, and and if anyone knows what I did, please tell me because I will respect you quite a bit. Anyways, essentially her use she's using the bangles, or she's using the bangle, the sister to the one Kamala has, to basically rip holes into space and create jump points over various planets, and that has a catastrophic effect on their ecosystems and things like that. And she's trying to restore Hala to its former glory. So, for instance, she goes to one of the planets that the Skrulls are on, and basically creates a jump point over that, and essentially starts pulling their air from their planet onto Hala. And then she goes to another planet, attempts to do that with their water, and so on and so forth. And the final resource that she needs is sun. And guess where she tries to do that, boys and girls? Yes, she goes to Earth. And one of the effects of Dar-Ben doing this is that she's basically entangled Carol, Kamala's, and Monica's powers, so that whenever they use them, if two of them are using their light-based powers at the same time, then they just switch places automatically. It's they call it quantum entanglement, and it's pretty fun to watch, actually. But you get a lot of people just ending up in the same, like, in places where, like at one point, Kamala gets basically teleported in midair while Carol crashes into her floor, and suddenly Kamala's in free fall. So you get a lot of fun stuff like that where they have to kind of get themselves out of it. But it's an interesting dynamic that they figure out, that they have to kind of like learn, how to successfully intuit what the other is doing. And there's actually a really cool little montage where they do it, where they're doing like a jump rope game together, which is really fun to watch because you not only you have two people twirling the jump rope, and you have the person who gets in trying to do it, and so they're doing this, and then they're like switching places like in the middle of it, and so you have to pick up and keep going where the other person left off. And so it was a really cool little exercise because it's like, okay, all right, let's learn this. That way, when we're in more, desperate situations, more dangerous situations, we can, kind of more or less flawlessly pick up where the other left off. So there's some fun stuff going on there. Nick Fury is in the movie, and Samuel L. Jackson. I feel like Samuel L. Jackson, like as Nick Fury, has just kind of run out of F's to give. Kind of like this movie too, because he's basically like, I feel like he's there and he's just kind of reacting to things. You know how Nick Fury is just like, he's always the one kind of driving things or pushing things. Like he's the one that's he doesn't really do that this time around, like a little bit towards the end. But based on what I have found out about Secret Invasion, and also just given how this is in a post Endgame world, a post Blip world, I also feel like Nick Fury is getting his spy legs kind of back under him, and so like he's not bad. He's actually still pretty good, but he's not like at the bleeding edge like he was previously. He also doesn't have like a network of Skrull spies at his disposal anymore, which I would argue is one of the things that made him the oh so serious, like everybody get on my page or get run over kind of mentality. That's all gone here. That is all gone. Nick Fury is just kind of there, and he's like, I'm just gonna have a good time, basically. He's reacting to stuff. He's making sarcastic remarks, but he's not really like driving a lot of the major action. He's getting the three kind of he's helping them get on the same page. He's helping them get together. And that's really about it. So a lot of fun stuff there. Now, what are some of the other big spoilers? All right. Man. Okay. So get ready for some of this, guys, because some of it's pretty big. So first of all, one of the big spoilers that I think, and this is another thing that you learn about Carol that I don't think anyone knew. I think a lot of people wanted this, but I don't think a lot of people knew about this. So Valkyrie actually shows up after they try to rescue the Skrulls from the planet that Dar-Benn is trying to basically rob of its atmosphere. Basically Carol, tells the emperor of the Skrulls, she's like, I have someone who can probably help you. And so then a rainbow bridge connects to her ship, and then Valkyrie shows up, King Valkyrie. She's dressed in like a suit, and looks, I mean, it's Tessa Thompson. Tessa Thompson always looks good. um but of interest is the pretty tender way that that Valkyrie behaves towards Carol. And it kind of makes you wonder. It's like, are they lovers? Are they like a thing? Are they an item? Because um I don't just some of the mannerisms. It was like, ooh, oh, okay, all right. And I mean, I personally think it works. I think this may come from, like, I think Tessa and or Brie actually were responding to fans who were saying that Captain Marvel and Valkyrie should get together. And so I don't know that you could call this confirmation of that, but it was definitely, I feel like, kind of a sly wink to those people. I don't know. And I'm willing to walk away from that interpretation of it with just being like, okay, yeah, I'm down with that. Let them have that. Like, I think that's wonderful. So anyways, that was a pretty cool little cameo. She wasn't on the screen for too terribly long. She showed up, she escorted the Skrulls away, and she was very tender towards Carol. Like, wow, are they you know so anyway, so that was, I felt like that was a fairly big development there. And then let's just talk about the third thing that at least I learned about Carol in this movie, is that Carol's married. She's married. She is married to, I think his name is Prince Yan of, oh god, what was the name of Alagda? The name of the planet, I think, was Alagda, and that's another planet that Dar-Benn assaults. It's like 96% water or something like that. And first of all, that the entire Alagda scene is great. It is lovely. It is so worth watching. It's hilarious too, because it's a planet with a bunch of humanoids on it. All right, they all look pretty human, but they communicate through music and song. And so when they greet Carol, Kamala, and Monica, they're singing their greetings to them. And the thing is, if you speak to them, they don't understand you. You have to sing to them. That's the only way they know how to communicate, for the most part. And it's just kind of one of those things that it makes for a very silly premise. Okay, like, everyone there, it's like a Disney musical numbers planet. Okay, and it's brilliant because when they meet, um, first of all, Kamala is kind of looking around and just like she is just like, okay, this is cool. I love this. I am here for it. Carol is like, okay, there's something about this you guys should know. She's like, I helped the prince out with like a legal matter, which they're like, wait, you're married to him? She's like, yeah, I was helping him out with a legal matter. It's we're friends. It's just a marriage of convenience kind of thing. And I mean, it's all it makes for a fun premise. And at one point, Carol has to dance with her husband, the prince, who is he's an Asian actor. I don't know Park Seo Joon, and I don't really know what else I've seen him in. All I know is that I'm pretty sure he is huge in you know um like in Korea or wherever he's from. I don't know where he's from, so I'm sorry if I got that wrong. But anyways, he comes when she has to dance with him, her dress changes and it looks like she's like wearing basically like a Disney princess dress that happens to have Captain Marvel's colors on it. It's freaking hilarious and I love it. And so like they're singing and dancing together. And again, like Kamala, who writes Captain Marvel fan fiction, is just like beside herself with happiness. She's like, "Oh my god, this is so awesome." And Monica is just like, she's just done with this. She's like, "Are you kidding me? What the hell have we gotten ourselves into?" And and she looks over at Kamala at one point. She goes, "I bet you just got uh all kinds of material for your Captain Marvel fanfics, haven't you?" Which was hilarious because we all know that Kamala writes Captain Marvel fan fiction. Of course she does. Um, and the thing is, like, as they're moving around, because again, Teyona Paris playing Captain Rambeau, very straight, is just kind of like, uh-huh, all right, okay, yep, I'm a little grumpy, sorry, whatever. Um, and then Carol is doing what needs to be done, whereas Kamala is all like, you know, and to me, like that tells me that Kamala is probably of the three, probably one of the more emotional. She's probably the most emotionally intelligent out of the three. Either that or she is just a silly individual, and I'm a-okay with that too. So, anyways, um, so yeah, so those are the three things that you learn about Carol Danvers in this movie that like I didn't know about at the time. So um but yeah, there are other spoilers. So we learned about Valkyrie. We learned about Captain Marvel basically being a Disney princess now. Um the Agdalans give them like uniforms or you know armor, I guess, for their final fight, which is what they're sporting like in the movie posters and stuff like that. And it's all great fun to watch. At one point, Kamala, who has been told not to use her powers during this fight, she's just she's taking out enemies like in the conventional way. And then one of the soldiers goes up to her and one of the things that came with her costume was a scarf, and they tell her use the scarf. And so she actually starts twirling it and like using it like a whip or just and it's like effective, like she's knocking people back, she's tangling them up. And I'm just sitting there watching this. I'm like, what is this scarf made of? What wonder fiber is it made out of? It was ridiculously fun to watch, and I really, really enjoyed that. As we get to the end of the action, um, Dar-Ben is starting to create a hole over Earth, and essentially trying to, you know, basically destroy every planet that Carol calls home, and then, you know, like try to siphon off the sun for Hala. So they all three get into a fight, and Dar-Benn figures out that, you know, Kamala's bangle, like if she has both, she'll have more power and can do anything she wants. And so it becomes a struggle where, the you know, she gets Kamala down and basically, makes her hand over the other bangle, gets it, and essentially Captain Marvel had already pledged to try to like reignite Hala's sun. Dar-Benn agreed to it and then went back on it, and then basically, you know, tried to destroy everything. And for some reason, I'm not remembering how the final fight went. They managed to defeat her. And then after doing a quick calculation, Monica basically figures out, okay, if you two blast me with enough light, I can basically absorb and then redirect it, but I have to go into the dimensional tear that Dar-Benn has created and seal it from the other side. So she goes and she does that, but unfortunately, she gets caught on the other side of the tear. She can't go back without being sealed in on the other side. And Carol races to try to grab her and doesn't. And basically they end up kind of going to Monica's mom's house in Louisiana. And it looks like Kamala's family is moving there. I'm not entirely certain how that works, but in any case, you know, and basically Carol's like, yeah, we'll watch over it. And Kamala's like, until Monica returns. And, you know, Carol's like, yeah, until Monica returns, you know. So, and the reason I'm telling you guys all of that is because I want to set you up for the post-credit scene, which again, huge freaking spoiler. Because it's not a post-credit scene for one, it's a mid-credit scene. Okay, there actually is no post-credit scene. I've also left out the army of Flerken kittens, which is freaking hilarious, by the way. If you want, I'll tell you more about that later. But let's get to the mid-credit scene, because man, this is big. Okay, if you need a reason to go see the movie that isn't the silliness that is Agdala, or Alagda, I'm sorry, which is a great reason to go see it, and or the Flerken Kitten Army, which is also a great reason, then go see it for this. All right. So when the mid-credits scene starts, we open up on Monica, and Monica is laying on a bed, and she comes to and she sees her mother. She sees her mother, Maria Rambeau, who passed away from cancer during her, you know, when she was snapped. So she wakes up, she sees her mom, and she starts to just like she's like, you know, she starts to freak out and cry. She's like, "Oh my God, mom, I've missed you," you know. And Maria Rambeau does not recognize her and is like, "Okay, all right, you're a little disoriented, you know. Let's get you to calm down. We'll figure this out, you know." And as she's doing that, you hear the door swish open, and you hear a distinct and fairly urbane voice saying, "So, how is our mystery patient doing?" All right. And when I heard that voice, I'm like, whoa, 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 I know that voice. I know that voice very well. Because if you didn't already know this about me, I freaking love the show Frasier. I love that show so much, and I'm so glad there's a revival right now. But oh, that voice is I will never not place that voice. It's Kelsey Grammer. All right, it's Kelsey Grammer, and he has been returned as Beast. All right. Now, have you guys all seen X-Men: The Last Stand, which is not a great X-Men movie? It's okay. It's okay. One of the few bright spots of that movie is Kelsey Grammer as Beast. All right. He just his voice alone, like, is it's Hank McCoy. It's no, the way that J.K. Simmons, no one else can play J. Jonah Jameson except J.K. Simmons for a lot of people. All right. The way that Robert Downey Jr., no one else can play Iron Man, Tony Stark, except for Robert Downey Jr. for a lot of people. For me, and I'm sure for a lot of people, no one else can voice, at least, Beast. It has to be Kelsey Grammer. And and then we get to see him. We get to see the bouncing blue furry beast in his, in his 90s furry form, and it's all CGI. It's CGI, like, and it looks good. It looks really good. And he's like, "Okay, all right. Well, I know that Charles is requesting an update on our patient, and it's just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, X-Men, X-Men. Like, I mean, we saw Charles in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but we know what happened to him. This is another reality. This has got to be. This has got to be another multiverse, basically. And so we're basically left with Monica in another multiverse, and her mother, who appears to be yet another Captain Marvel of a different reality, telling her, "Okay, who are you?" And that's where it ends. And it's like, damn. I loved it. I flipping loved it. I thought it was great. I know not everyone will agree with me, and that's okay. But I could not get enough of it. Again, I'm a sucker for Kelsey Grammer as Beast, but just the implications of it alone, like, we got it in Ms. Marvel when the word mutation was used to describe Kamala's power set. I was like, "Ooh, that's significant." And now, another movie that Ms. Marvel happens to be in, and now we're seeing the X-Men. And I'm just like, "Okay, all right, I need more of this now," So anyway, I enjoyed the Marvels. I enjoyed the Marvels quite a bit, and I think a lot of people, if you choose to go, I think you will get an enjoyable experience out of this movie. Some people will probably not, and I feel sorry for those people. However, I think that, if you go to the theaters and you watch it, I had a wonderful time. It is a movie, again, with 0 Fs to give, and I feel like it really, like, that kind of attitude really helps the movie in this case. So, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun for those who go to see it. I definitely recommend going to see it. And again, it's another piece of the Marvel puzzle. And I really do start to get the feeling between this and Loki season 2 and just some of the other stuff that has come before, they are starting to build towards more and more epic and interesting stories. And I think they're starting to get there. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with Jonathan Majors at this point. Are they gonna stay with him? Are they gonna replace him with Doctor Doom? I don't know yet, but I think we will find that out eventually. So I don't know. I enjoyed it. Hopefully you'll go see it and you'll enjoy it too. But yeah, that's my reaction, and I really enjoyed it. So I think you guys should definitely give it a view if you ever get the opportunity to do so. All right. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and take that off, and we are also going to switch back to Code Blue here. So, anyways, um, yeah. Does anyone have anything to say? I mean, I've been enjoying talking, and I appreciate you guys watching. Do you have anything, like, any questions you want to ask about the movie? Anything that you would like me to say or not. I guess technically we're still in spoiler territory, so I guess I'll put that back up. But for the most part, I think I've said everything I have to say about this movie, and I think again that if you guys go out and see it, you'll enjoy it. So, but yeah, Sith Apple, you make an excellent point, and I swear I thought the same thing. Um, when the credits were rolling and everything, I remember thinking, now I need to see Deadpool 3 because even if it doesn't take place in that particular multiverse, which it could if you think about it, um, it's certainly possible that we're going to get more answers to the one like this question from the one character who is just like he goes between he fourth wall breaks. He's as good a multi-dimensional and metaversal character as you can get. So yeah, which I took a look, and it looks like Deadpool 3 is still slated for July of 2024. So we'll see how that shakes out with the writer or the actor strike being over. However, um, I think they've reached a tentative agreement, and I don't know if they signed off on it today, but I hope they did. So, but yeah, it was great fun. Leia, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. But yeah, it was a lot of good fun, and I don't know, I just really appreciate it. So, all right, well, if we don't have anything else to say about it, I do want to talk about a couple of things with you guys because I need to let you know something. Um, my birthday is coming up on Tuesday, December 5th. All right. And I think I would like to discuss things that we can do for that time. How does the Marvel lead to a universal Kang war? Um, so I think on that front, and I don't think this is too much of a spoiler to say, but it really doesn't. Like, it really isn't concerned with the whole Kang Dynasty stuff. It's more about kind of like, hey, there's this thing going on that we need to deal with that is not it doesn't appear to be directly connected to it, and I'm okay with that. So Deadpool has Cable's time travel device. Oh, does he now? Okay, yeah, I could see that being a thing. So, anyways, but yeah, guys, my birthday is coming up on December 5th, and I think a couple of things. All right. And looks like everyone who is here right now is a moderator. So first of all, I want to thank all of you guys for being excellent moderators. I appreciate it very much. I would also like to I would like to make a request of my mods. So again, my birthday is coming up by on December 5th this year. All right. I am going to be a very sprightly 46. All right. That is how old I am turning. Um, and let me tell you, I think I look good for my age. Okay. But anyways, what I wanted to ask you guys is a couple of things. One, I would like you to keep doing what you're already doing, and promoting my channel and my streams wherever you can. I know that Sith Apple and Alan Copeland in particular have been pretty spot on about doing that, and I really do appreciate it. I mean, I reached 900 subscribers this week, and I still am kind of flabbergasted about it. But anyways, just keep promoting me. Um, let people know what kind of content I'm doing. Let them know that, for instance, I've got a Patreon and stuff like that. That I'm doing. I'm fundraising for Extra Life for Texas Children's Hospital, and let them know that I'm still working on Trouble's uh, GoFundMe and trying to pay off her medical debt. So because every little bit helps, and so any extra money that I make from like any of this is basically going towards paying off the credit cards that I used to save Trouble's life earlier this year. And so I, again, keep doing that. If we could get to 950 subscribers by my birthday, then I think we have a fighting chance of hitting 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And if we could do that, guys, I would be I would be over the moon. I would be like, wow, wow, thank you. So, anyways, I guess what I'm saying is for my birthday, try to, you don't have to get me anything. You don't have to donate. You don't have to like do any of that stuff. If you want to, great, and I would love you for it. But it's absolutely not a necessity. But just like promote the channel. Let's try to get the subscriber count up to 950 by my birthday, and let's try to get it to 1,000 by the end of the year. And like I know that some of you guys are helping me out with watch hours. I don't know if you're putting like the Webline playlist on or something like that. I really do appreciate that. I've actually seen my watch hour numbers, at least for the last few days. Like they've gradually gotten more and more. So what you guys are doing is making a difference. So please continue. And oh, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. So I'd like to do a birthday stream. So I will probably do a birthday stream like on, again, that'd be a Tuesday night. So I would do a birthday stream on or around that time. I'll have episodes of the web line going on at that point. So Sunday's not a great day to do that. So maybe Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. I've also got. It looks like I might have my nephew Wesley coming in that weekend, and so like we'll do a Wesley stream where he and I just hang out and play video games together, and you guys can meet my nephew. Did I call him my cousin? He's my nephew. Sorry. Anyways, so there's a lot going on kind of in my personal life this month. But yeah, like, you know, just promote me where you think it's appropriate. If you're on any live streams where there's pop culture content, and just be like, hey guys, go check out Spidey Librarian. If you're into Spider-Man, he's your guy, kind of thing. Um, just do that. Let's try to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We've got about a month and a half to do it. And, there was a time where I wouldn't have dared to even hope that I'd be able to meet a goal like that. But like you guys and your endless kind of promotion of this channel, um, just in several other locations, has really kind of given me a lot of hope and really given me the ability to be like, oh, come on, let's do it. Let's do it. I think we can do it. So you guys are giving me hope. And I appreciate that. That means so much. So if nothing else, I want to thank you guys for that. So thank you so much. Thank you guys for being my mods. And let's continue to grow this channel and just get this community thriving and growing. So all right. Well, I think at this point, this is a good time to go ahead and call the stream. I probably should have started my Spider-Man's gaming stream a little while ago. So I'm going to go ahead and call the stream here. And then I'd say give me about 5-10 minutes. So probably about 10 o'clock. We'll start working on Spider-Man. We're going to try to platinum the game tonight. We'll see if we can do it. I can only stream until about midnight because I am working tomorrow. But yeah, let's do it. Let's do the thing, get that done. And then if we do, we can start talking about what to do next. Because yeah, there's other Spider-Man gaming related stuff that we can do. All right. So again, thank you guys for hanging out for this review. I appreciate it very much. Take care. This is Spidey Librarian, and until my next stream or upload, I'll be wishing you a good day. Bye.